How often have you come across one shameful story in the Old Testament? I'm talking about one of the most controversial stories in the Bible, the story of Lot's daughters, found in Genesis 19. This narrative, while uncomfortable, provides us with valuable insights into the dangers of material enticements, the power of intercession, and the importance of moral and ethical choices. In a moment, I will take a deeper dive into the lives of Lot's daughters, the events that pushed them to sleep with their father, and the aftermath of this sultry decision. Bring your eyes and ears closer, as this video offers profound wisdom on how to handle your affairs in times of difficulty and chaos. Lot, a man who, despite his righteous nature, was susceptible to the temptations of the material world. His decision to settle near the wicked city of Sodom, Genesis chapter 13 verses 10 to 13, was the first step on a path that led to moral compromises. The narrative progresses with the arrival of angels in Sodom, a city steeped in chaos and depravity. The divine presence in this corrupt city underscores God's concern for human wickedness. This aligns with the message of Jeremiah chapter 23 verse 4, emphasizing God's attentiveness to cries of injustice. This situation echoes the biblical message that God is vigilant and ready to act in the face of evil. Lot, who was sitting at the city's gateway, saw them and invited them to his house. He insisted so strongly that they agreed and went with him. Before they went to bed that night, all the men from every part of the city of Sodom, young and old, surrounded the house. They demanded Lot to bring out his guests so they could have sex with them. This narrative underscores the depravity of Sodom's inhabitants, evident in their reception of the angels of the Lord. The sinful behavior of the city's men, desiring to engage in sexual relations with the angels, was one of the primary reasons for the city's destruction. During this tumult, Lot attempted to defuse the situation controversially by offering his daughters to the men of the city, but they refused. This reflects his weakness and the city's detrimental effects on him. The men of Sodom threatened Lot and moved forward to break down the door. But the angels inside reached out, pulled Lot back into the house, and struck the men who were at the door with blindness. Because of Lot's kindness to the angels, the Lord declares his intention to probe into the sins of Sodom, revealing his justice and rejection of iniquity. Faced with such disappointment, God decides to obliterate the city, but promises to spare Lot's family. They instructed Lot to gather his family and anyone else who belonged to him and leave the city. At this juncture, the Bible delves into Abraham's courageous intercession before the Lord, revealing a genuine quest for understanding divine justice. In contrast to Lot, we have Abraham, a man who stood as a beacon of righteousness. When God revealed his plans to destroy Sodom due to its wickedness, Abraham boldly interceded. His audacious dialogue with God showcases the significance of persistently seeking justice and mercy. It teaches us the value of fervent intercession and the potential impact of righteous prayers. Confess your trespasses to one another and pray for one another, that you may be healed. The effective, fervent prayer of a righteous man avails much. James chapter 5, verse 16. The biblical narrative illustrates that Lot had the chance to learn from Abraham, who is acknowledged as the patriarch of faith. However, unlike his uncle, Lot did not tread the path of faith. Instead, he allowed his own perceptions and desires to guide him. This individualistic approach led to considerable hardships and left indelible scars on his family. This serves as a reminder of the potential consequences when one strays from the path of faith and righteousness. As the narrative continues, Lot goes out and speaks to his sons-in-law, who have pledged to marry his daughters, and tells them about the impending destruction. However, they thought he was joking. As dawn broke, the angels urged Lot to hurry. When he hesitated, the angels took the hands of Lot, his wife, and his 2 daughters, and led them safely out of the city. Once they were outside the city, one of the angels instructed them to flee for their lives and not to look back or stop anywhere in the plain. They were told to flee to the mountains or be swept away. However, Lot is afraid to go to the mountains and asks the angels to let him flee to a small nearby town instead. The angels granted his request. As soon as Lot entered the small town, the Lord rained down burning sulfur on Sodom and Gomorrah, destroying the cities and all their inhabitants. Lot's wife, however, looked back as they were fleeing, and she became a pillar of salt. In the New Testament, Jesus references Lot within the Gospel of Luke, placing it within an apocalyptic framework. He recalls the annihilation of Sodom and Gomorrah and Lot's deliverance. This account is a cautionary tale for the end times, underscoring the significance of preparedness and adherence to God's will. The destruction of Sodom is a sobering reminder of the consequences of widespread immorality. Despite the cultural pressures, Lot was spared because of his righteousness. This underscores the importance of making ethical choices, even when they go against the grain of societal norms. As Christians today, we are encouraged to stand firm in our faith and moral values, Ephesians chapter 6, verse 13, even in the face of adverse societal influences. Indeed, the destruction of Sodom is a significant event in the Bible, recorded in Genesis 19. After the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, something much more gory than the very destruction itself took place. Something that generations to come would hear and shiver, highlighting the influence that living in a corrupted land like Sodom can have on anyone who doesn't follow God's principles. After seeking refuge in a cave near the small town of Zoar, Lot and his 2 daughters faced a desperate situation. Believing they were the last survivors on earth and that no men remained to continue their family line, the daughters devised a plan. Over 2 consecutive nights they intoxicated their father with wine. The elder daughter went in first and lay with him. His drunken state prevented him from realizing her actions or when she left. Genesis chapter 19, verse 33. On the following night, they once again intoxicated their father, and the younger daughter entered and lay with him. Once more, he remained unaware of her actions, neither when she lay down nor when she rose. Consequently, both of Lot's daughters conceived children by their father. The elder daughter gave birth to a son named Moab, who would become the ancestor of the Moabite people. Similarly, the younger daughter bore a son named Ben-Ammi, who would be the forefather of the Ammonite nation. These nations would later emerge as adversaries of Israel, Genesis chapter 19, verses 37 and 38. This part of the story highlights the harmful effects of fear-driven decisions and the potential consequences of disregarding moral and ethical norms. It is one of the most disturbing in the Bible, and it's meant to serve as a warning about the dangers of drunkenness and the dire consequences of making decisions based on fear and desperation. Lot's experience in Sodom, as recorded in Genesis chapter 13 and 19, mirrors the challenges faced by Christians in today's world. Sodom was a city known for its wickedness and disregard for God's laws. Despite being a righteous man, Lot chose to live there, exposing himself and his family to an environment that was contrary to their beliefs. In the same way, Christians today live in a world where values often contradict biblical teachings. Issues such as materialism, immorality, and disregard for human dignity are rampant, much like in Sodom. The challenge for Christians is maintaining their faith and upholding biblical values amidst these contrary societal norms, just as Lot strived to do. The act of isolation in a cave by Lot and his daughters after the destruction can be seen as a symbol of the human tendency to withdraw emotionally and spiritually during difficult times. Traumatic experiences, such as the destruction of Sodom and the loss of his wife, may have led Lot to seek solace in isolation. This raises important questions about how we respond to trauma and adversity. While it's natural to seek refuge and healing, complete isolation can hinder our ability to engage in life and form healthy relationships fully. It's crucial to seek support and stay connected with others, even in the midst of trials. The story of Lot is more than a historical account. It serves as a prophetic reminder of the impending judgment and the importance of readiness and obedience to God's will. Jesus himself referred to the days of Lot as a parallel to the days leading up to his return, Luke chapter 17, verses 28 to 30. Just as Lot was saved from the destruction of Sodom, so will those who trust in Christ be saved from the coming judgment. This story emphasizes the need for Christians to remain vigilant, prepared, and faithful in anticipation of the end times. It's a call to live righteously, be alert to the signs of the times, and maintain our faith in God's promises. The story of Lot's daughters is a challenging narrative, but it holds valuable lessons for us today. It's a call to prioritize spiritual values, intercede for others, and make ethical choices, no matter the cost. The story of Lot and his daughters is a sobering reminder of the consequences of fear-driven decisions, the importance of moral integrity, and the impending divine judgment. As we navigate our journey of faith, may we learn from their mistakes, make decisions guided by God's wisdom, and live in anticipation of Christ's return. This serves as a stark reminder of the importance of prioritizing spiritual values over earthly interests. When we allow material desires to dictate our decisions, we risk losing sight of our moral compass. From Lot's story, we learn the importance of making choices based on spiritual values rather than worldly attractions. We're reminded of the need to remain steadfast in our faith, even when surrounded by contrary societal influences. Lot's isolation teaches us about the potential negative effects of withdrawing from community and support systems during tough times. It underscores the importance of community, connection, and mutual support in overcoming adversity. Remember, the Bible is not just a book of stories, but a guide that offers valuable lessons for navigating life's challenges. As we reflect on these narratives, let's strive to apply these lessons in our daily lives. Thank you for joining us today. We look forward to exploring more biblical narratives with you. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful videos. Until next time, stay blessed.